guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for December, what are we on, 9th? Is that right? 9th. Yeah, I think it's the 9th, 2018. Man, I need to think of that earlier before I start. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about the books that I read this week, the books that I'm in the middle of, and then what I think I'm going to pick up later, but I'll get to that of what might be going on with that in a second. So, I first finished a little short story. I took this to work one day. It's Fox 8 by George Saunders. He's the one who wrote A Lincoln in the Bardo. I just picked this up because I'd seen people talk about it, and I was like, well, I don't want to pay for that because it's so teeny. So I got it from the library, and it came in really quickly. And this was an interesting little story. Like, I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into. I had heard that the narrator of the story is the Fox, and Fox 8 is his name. And so it was kind of a cute little story, but it was sad as well. So I think he does a lot in here, and it took me a little while. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't know my phonics. I have a different way of how I learned to read due to my childhood. Anyway, point is, I didn't learn phonics, and I still don't know how to sound out words. So to me, this was really hard because right off, he's not spelling things the way we would spell it. It's spelled mostly phonetically. And I had a lot of trouble with it at first to get the voice right because I didn't know what he was saying. Like, sometimes I had to try to read it out loud, and I don't do very well with that, just because I don't sound out words very well. So to me, it was hard. So once I got into it, I was okay. But there's like some little drawings and stuff in there. So it telling his story of this fox in this area, and then the horrible things that happen when humans come closer. So I think it was really cute. It was totally worth the read. I'm glad I read the little short story. Again, as I said, it didn't go the way I thought it would. I had no idea. It was very short. It's like it's less than 40 pages. And again, there's not very much writing on most of the pages. So it was really cute for a short story. It's actually one I'm glad is only a short story because of the dialect. Again, I always have trouble with dialects too because, again, a lot of them are phonetically put in, and I have trouble with that. So, but I got through it, and I did enjoy it. And, if you like George Saunders, I would definitely say pick it up at some point. I would definitely do it through the library or an ebook or something because it's not worth whatever they said. I think it was like $17 for this little thing. And I'm like, no. And then I took part in the Dickens December. I saw it on Instagram, and so I kind of joined in on that because I had not read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens in years, and I had this really, really old copy I got used for 75 cents. Anyway, so I only read A Christmas Carol. There are a couple other stories in here I might read during the Christmas season. I haven't decided yet. So I'm not technically complete with this thing, but I've read this book, this physical book, quite a while ago. So it's a reread for me. But what I did is I listened to the Jim Dale audiobook. Kate Howe mentioned it on her Instagram, saying that she found it on YouTube. So I, of course, pulled it up, and then I listened to some of the parts over a couple of nights. It was supposed to be the whole week, but my mom was staying here. So there were 2 nights where I couldn't really read or watch anything I wanted to. So I kind of doubled up on a couple of days. But I really enjoyed listening to Jim Dale's audiobook on A Christmas Carol, and I read along with it, which is not something I normally do with my audiobooks, but because I'd read it before, I kind of wanted to see, I just wanted to read along at the same time, I guess, because I was at home with it on YouTube. On my TV, so I was sitting there, and usually, when I'm listening to audiobooks, I'm in my car or at work doing something else with my hands, so I just thought I'd read along, and it was really good. There's only like 2 or 3 times that he used a different word or changed the sentence, so I thought that was pretty good. Anyway, I just, mind thing. Anyway, but I really enjoyed this reread. It was probably the first time I really enjoyed this story in the written form. Now, I've liked adaptations before, and actually I can't, it's been so long since I watched one. I might have to watch a few just because it's been so long since I've seen them. Like I remember the Muppets Christmas Carol the best, or Mickey's Christmas Carol, and one other one. I don't know, like the kid ones. Like I remember those more than like an actual one. So I might have to find an actual, you know, more one that's very close to the book. But there's a couple of things that shocked me that I'd totally forgotten that Scrooge said or did as his character was changing while the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future were with him. And I thought it was really good. And I loved the discussion video by Katie at Books and Things about this I just saw the other day. And it was a great reread because it had been, I mean, years. I mean, I bought this book, I think, in college, around that time. And I think I read it, you know, in my 20s. And then I don't think I've picked it up since. So I've had it for a while. But anyway, it was really great to reread it. The Jim Dale audiobook I would recommend. I thought it was pretty well done. So I did enjoy that. So that was fun. And then I picked up and finished the book that I borrowed from my dad. It's Call for the Dead by John. Oh gosh, I was gonna look up his last name. How do you guys say that? Le Carre? I don't know. Anyway, so this is a spy book, I guess it's spy. It's not, this I would not classify as a thriller. I would say this is more kind of just a mystery for me. So it works out for Cloak and Dagger Mystery. I got a mystery in here, guys. Anyway, so this is the first George Smiley book. So in his series, I think there's like 9 or something. And I actually really enjoyed this. I didn't expect to, because the first chapter kind of threw me off because it was kind of talking about the main character, George Smiley, kind of it was kind of an old-fashioned kind of way. Because again, this was written or published in 1961. And the author did actually work for British intelligence, but he uses a pseudonym for his writing. But it was... the first chapter threw me off, but if you get past the first chapter, I mean, there's stuff in there that you need to know, so I understand why the first chapter's there. It was just like, this is slowing, there's no story yet. This is just telling me stuff, and I didn't exactly like the way that was, but you have to remember when it was written. But after that, you get into chapter 2, and then it's just on, but it's not action, it's a really a lot of George Smiley's thoughts and things that he's thinking and how he's remembering things of what had happened. The main plot is a man that George Smiley had interviewed because there was some suspected, I think, communist, things going, that he had joined the party in his college years at Oxford or something. And so it came up because he had a sensitive position at the Foreign Office. And so so he'd had this interview that George thought had gone fine, and he gets a call saying the guy had killed himself. And it's the story of finding out, you know, what happened, why, and then what, you know, things adding up. And I really liked it for that. It was, because it was so short, it was really easy to get through it. I enjoyed it. I actually would pick up another one of these. I think my dad is collecting them, so I probably will get another one at some point. But it's not like I'm going to rush out and get it, because I don't read a lot of spy, adventure, thriller kind of anymore. I do have a whole bunch of like kind of fantastical thrillers that I like to read that I haven't read recently, and I'm hoping to get back into them this next year. But I really enjoyed this. I actually would probably read these because they are, I mean, again, this was written in 61, and I thought it was really well done. You're into the Cold War, and it's a different feeling, and I guess I haven't read a whole lot on the Cold War mysteries recently, like of those tensions. Again, the books I read that I remember the most about this were horror novels that dealt with spies and psychics. So it was not quite the same thing. So this was really, I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely pick up another one, but I did get a mystery in. Isn't that nice? And then I finished a manga that I had picked up a couple weeks ago from the library. I don't even know how to say Lysiot and the Witch's Forest. And this is by the same author who does Fruits Basket. So it's not Suki Takaya, I think is how it said. I never can say her name. Anyway, so I did finally finish this the other night when I didn't feel like reading a book for some reason. Just was tired. Friday night I was really tired. So I did finish this off. So I already ordered the next 2 from the library, so they're shipping and on their way, so I'll probably get it sometime next week. But just to continue, I think it's like a 5 or 6 volume series. I think this completed, but I'm not positive. I don't know. I just picked up the first one because I like that artist. So then the 2 books that I'm in the middle of, I'm still reading Kitchen Confidential. As you can see, I put it down for a couple days in order to read some of the smaller works. I needed a break because of the chapters I was in were his kind of really bad period where he was not working very well or not having stuff, and it was hard to read at the time. I was just like, because he was mostly self-induced because of his drug use and other things. So I was just like, I'm not really interested. So now it's getting more interesting because now we're getting more into what he was doing when he wrote the book. So I'm really, it's that part's getting fascinating. And again, the food stuff just goes over my head. He talks about certain things and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, again, I don't cook. And even if I cooked a little bit more, I probably wouldn't get, but it's still written fantastically. I really am enjoying this book, and I do hope to finish it out this week. I do have an audiobook in my car that I got from the library. It never came during Nonfiction November, but it showed up. And so I'm listening to I'd Rather Be Reading The Delights and Dilemmas of the Reading Life by Anne Bogle. Library book. Anyway, so it's only a 2-disc one. I've already listened to half of it. I have just the other disc to do. It's only like 2.5 hours. So I figured I'll finish it out probably tomorrow on the way home from work if I don't finish it on the way to work. But it's really, I had heard there's not a whole lot to it because again, I didn't see the physical book. It was faster to get the audiobook even though I didn't get it in November. But it's, I like that some of it, she kind of gives lists of things of, you know, about like library books like being due and stuff, and then, you know, you want to read books because they're due at the library soon, but you also don't want to read them right now, but you have to because other people have the book, and it kind of goes through different things about the reading life. So I think it's really cute. I mean, again, it's just cute. And it's really fast, so I'll probably just finish that up, as I said, in the next day or 2. But it's just, I mean, I'm not going to say it's earth-shattering or anything. It's just fun. It's just a fun little audiobook, and I'm enjoyed it. So, so then going into this next week, speaking of, Fruits Basket, I did get the new number 2 of the second series, A Fruit Basket's another. So I do want to reread the first that I read 2 or 3 months ago, and then I'll read this. So I'm hoping one of these days I'm going to pick that up this week. When I'm in a mood when I don't really want to read a whole lot. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up after Kitchen Confidential. I have quite a few things I can pick from. I have a couple of mysteries. I have The Passions of Mildora Graham by Elsie Lee. Still don't know what it's about, but you know, it's one of my mom's old books that I don't know why I missed that one. I don't remember ever seeing that on her shelf. I also have a Mary Stewart reread that I'd like to do, which is Wildfire at Midnight. Again, another mystery. I have a book, another book that I have borrowed from a friend of mine I want to get through is Chocolat, which by Joanne Harris. I've never read or watched the movie. And then I have one more library book, The Spare Room by Helen Gardner. And I don't know if I'm going to get to this or not, but it's pretty short, and I thought I'd give it at least a shot. So, again, there are a lot of little short things. Now, if you see what I'm doing here is I'm avoiding the chunker books that I wanted to finish before the end of the month, books that I started already this year. So I think what happened is my brain kind of rebelled and says, no, we're not touching the big books. So I'm going to say it right now, I don't think I'm going to hit all those books. So as much as I would like to say I'm going to clear off my currently reading and get back to 0 by the end of the month, it's not going to happen. I am avoiding them purposely. Like, I look at them and then I go, oh, where's the little short books? Let's read one of those. So I don't think it's because I read so much in November, which my stats video will be up in a couple of days, and you'll see that. It was a pretty awesome month of that. But I I just think that I'm having that feeling that I'm trying to schedule my reading again too much. And I think I need to back off, and I'm letting myself mood read a little bit more, which I should do more often. And I might be one of my things I go into next year is more letting myself mood read and not do TBRs for a month like I would do a seasonal. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't decided, but my mind is kind of going, I need to back off on saying I'm going to read certain books, because right now it's just making me freak out a little bit that those 4 books are just staring at me. Now that said, of those 4 books, 1 book I really, really want to read. And I think the only reason I'm putting it off because I feel like I want to focus on it. And during the week at work, I just have not been able to, which is why I'm picking up short books right now. And again, I want to finish Kitchen Confidential, but I'm like a little over 100 pages left to read of that one. So I'm hoping to get a lot of that done today and then finish it off in the next day or two. And then maybe I could read a couple small books. But I kind of want to focus on one of the big books this next weekend. I don't plan to have a whole lot going on. I do have plans to rearrange my bookcases before Christmas because I really need to fill the bookcase I have, or the entertainment system that I bought for under my TV. I have like just a few books over there, and I started it. My mom likes what I started with, and she's like, well, you're going to do more? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done by Christmas. Maybe. So anyway, I'm hoping to do that next weekend, but I think I want to have I want to try to read one of the big books on the weekend, and maybe by letting myself have time to dive into it, I will then want to read the big books. It's just, I've gotten out of the habit a little bit of really big books, but this is the one I really want to finish before the end of the year. The other 3, I would like to give it another shot and try to finish by the end of the year. Those are just kind of like, I knew that, but this is the one I want to finish because I want to continue with this series, and I have to read this book again to remember everything, and I'm not doing a very good job at. So, Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I want to pick this up this week. So I'm hoping, maybe I'll get through all my short books or a couple of them and then pick this up. Or if not, by Saturday or Friday night or Saturday, I might just pick this up and just let myself dive into it and like try not to watch it with TV and BookTube or anything, and just like dive into it because I really, really enjoy this book. And it's been years since I read it, and I did read 170 pages, well, this copy is now 180 pages. Remember, I switched out the copies. But I don't know if I might go back and read a little bit of it right before where I stopped, just so I get back into it. I'm not sure. I mean, I want to finish this book by the end of the year so I can read the other books that I have in this series and get farther into the D'Artagnan romances. I need to focus, but during the week right now at work, it's not conducive for me to rereading a long book, and it's just the way it is right now. So I'm hoping to read some of the shorter books during the week, finish Kitchen Confidential, and then maybe attack this on the weekend. So, okay, I have talked way too long. Anyway, so what are you guys reading? Anything good this week or this last week? Any of these of the books, the small books that I put up, did any of those look interesting that I should pick up next? Let me know. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.